Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and tech wizard Abigail Mowat.
Hello everybody.
So, straight into it. What have you been playing?
I have been playing GTA 3.
Woo!
And I hate it.
Boo.
I'm just so fed up of it.
Oh boy.
I can't remember what mission was I stuck on last week that I couldn't do.
Well, you ran over a couple of people and then threw grenades over a wall, if memory serves.
Yes. And then I was stuck on another mission, which I was able to do. I remember now. So last week I was stuck on a mission where I had to... it was called bait, and I had to bait the enemy to go into a certain location to getting blown up or to getting killed. I had to do this with 3 different cars on the new island. I can't remember what it's called. The one at the airport.
We'll call it Airport Island.
Yes. So that took a while, and I was getting a bit fed up with it because either I kept getting blown up or that was basically it. I just kept getting blown up again. So I just decided, right, I'm just going to keep getting the fastest car and just seeing if I can get them there quick enough, and I was. So I managed to finally pass that mission.
So let me just clarify, you were getting blown up while trying to deliver the target to a certain area?
Yeah, because I kept spinning out.
Right, so you decided to take a faster car so you could have less time driving and hopefully that would fix the problem.
Yeah, because the one time I tried to do it, they managed to escape, which I didn't think they could do. They literally drove over a wall onto a road which was about 20 feet below. And I thought, oh, that's them. No, they're still alive. And then they blew me up.
Right. So are you delivering someone or
No,
shepherding?
Like a car's parked somewhere. I need to drive past them and then they follow me. So I'm acting as bait, hence the name of the mission, bait.
Right, so okay, I've got you. You kind of get blown up, so you decide to take a faster car, so you got less time driving, less time to blow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next mission I attempted, which was from Donald Love, I had to escort a car and make sure it didn't take any damage. I attempted that once, and I'm not going back to that for a little while because it drove me crazy, because the car kept trying to drive into things. Like the car that wasn't supposed to take any damage, the one I had to protect, kept driving into stuff.
Any damage or just too much damage?
Too much damage.
Too much damage. So it's a wee damage bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And just kept feeling it. But I thought the whole point was I was supposed to stop cars driving into it. I didn't understand I was supposed to stop them driving into other things. Because it's just ridiculous.
Have you tried hijacking the car and driving it yourself?
I don't think I can do that.
Well, if you parked in front of it T-bone style, you might be able to get out and run
I don't know. I've not tried it. I'll go back and give it another go. But I decided I was just going to keep attempting another mission called Espresso to Go, because I'm in that part where I can choose between 2 different missions.
Espresso to Go.
Espresso to Go, in which I have to destroy 9 espresso stands which are actually selling drugs. But there are espresso stands which are on Staunton Island, one in Portland, and one in the airport island. But what I find absolutely frustrating is the fact that any other time I've ever done a mission, it always shows where the locations are regardless of if they're on another island. They will always appear on the map, so I know vaguely which area to go into. This one's not doing it. So I'm literally randomly driving about until they appear on the map.
The mini-map.
The mini-map.
Because there is no actual map.
There is no actual map.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Because after I destroyed the first one, I've got 8 minutes to destroy all of them. Between 3 different islands.
Do they stay in the same place?
Yes, they're always in the same place. So I eventually had to look up a walkthrough.
To find a map of them?
Yeah. Basically go, right, this is the most economically, it's the most time-saving...
Time-efficient route.
Time-efficient route, sorry, yes. But I kept getting blown up because I thought if I just ran into them, that would destroy them, because that's what the walkthrough was saying. But apparently, that's not everything that's going to happen, because you need to run into it at a certain speed.
I would suggest that unless you're really struggling for time,
But I've got 8 minutes between 3 different islands.
yeah, but I don't know, because it's difficult. How fast are you travelling? How big are the islands? That sort of stuff. But if you can pull up and just shoot them.
Yeah, but they're shooting at me at the same time.
Oh.
And then especially back in Portland, because even if I get out of the car, I'm getting shot at by about 12 different people at any one point.
I agree with them then, just barrel through them as fast as you can.
But the problem is that I have to be going at a certain speed, and then I keep getting blown. And if I get blown up if my car catches fire in Portland, that's it. I might as well reload the game.
Why?
Because it takes forever to find another car, and I'm constantly getting shot at, so I'm getting killed.
Right.
I'm getting wasted while looking for a car.
Right.
This walkthrough used the car that Ray gives you at the end of his last mission. However, I don't think I have it anymore because I took it out to see what it would do, and I think I destroyed it. So I don't actually know if the car respawns if you destroy it.
If it was to respawn, I would guess it would respawn somewhere near where he gave you the missions, but I don't think it does respawn.
Well, then I just have to keep going at it, don't I?
I do have a good piece of news for you.
What?
I think there are only 4 missions left.
Thank goodness, because I am sick of this game. I'm so sick of it.
How much money do you have?
I don't know. But I'll tell you what, right? I got so bored the other day. I was just going around just sniping people.
Yeah.
I decided to go. It's like weapons I've never tried before. Let's go the grenade launcher. Let's see what that does. Nothing. I didn't hit anything. Let's try the flamethrower.
Don't fire a grenade launcher at people, by the way. You shoot it at cars and walls.
Well, I just wanted to know what would happen.
Okay.
And then I decided to use a flamethrower, and then I got busted for doing that.
Yeah. I don't think they have that in later games.
Yeah, but I was just like bored, so I was just trying different things, seeing how long I could evade the police.
They do have it in San Andreas.
And then I kept falling off bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
No.
Kevin Bridges.
No.
Road bridges.
Yes.
Force road bridges.
No. That'd be fun if they set one in Scotland. Why don't they set one? Why don't they set one in Scotland?
It's just the whole sort of suspension of disbelief. It's so easy to set a mass murdering gun game in America.
Scotland. I thought you were going to say Scotland.
No, it's just so easy to set one in America because it makes sense. Setting one in Scotland is
that. Yeah, but you've got so many more locations that are like.
No,
fun.
I absolutely think that when they're able to put an entire country into one of these games, they should set it in Scotland because I think you could do really well.
Yeah, imagine like going into Highlands. You have to like take out like some stuff.
Like you've got to sit on top of Ben Nevis and snipe someone who's really far away.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know where Ben Nevis is.
I don't really know what it is either, 100%, but it's the biggest.
Is that our only mountain in Scotland? Or is that a hill?
It's the biggest. I think it counts as a mountain. It's just quite small for a mountain, but I think it counts.
How many mountains do we have? We don't have many, because any time they're all hills.
Only Scotland has anything even remotely approaching a mountain.
Yeah. So I remember going to England on the train, and literally it was like, while you're in Scotland, all these hills in the background, and as soon as you get to England, flat.
It's flat. It's completely flat. It's like God was crafting Scotland and sat on England while doing it. Like,
I thought you were going to say he just got bored.
No, it's like he's walking around like, oh, I kind of need a seat, and he just plumps down on England and flattens it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
We've got lochs up in hills. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have lochs. They've got
whatever
they've got.
I can't say that word.
Loch.
Loch.
Yeah, there you go. You just did.
Yay! I once wrote a poem and I rhymed flocks with locks, and people were like really angry at that. They were like, "It's a different. How do you say it? Loch? It's loch."
Well, it's a different word from a different language.
I know,
loch.
but people were annoyed at that.
Loch isn't. I don't even think it's Scottish.
It was a poem about the Lithgow Palace.
Yeah, and it's a Scottish word, and you say loch. Loch. It just doesn't mean that. It's a completely different word.
Oh, right.
It's not even the pronunciation of a word. It's two separate words from two separate languages. So it's not the same. The good news is that you are nearly done. There's only 4 missions left. The bad news is to do the last mission you need to have at least $500,000. Do you have that?
I don't know. I've got something that begins with 5. I know that.
So you're either good or you're way off.
Yeah. Well, I've not really been spending the money. I've been.
You should be okay then. You might have to start doing a couple of telephone missions or something.
I'm not doing the telephone missions. If that is the reason I need to, I'm just gonna not finish the game.
Okay. I won't bother.
Hold on, wait. Do all the I just realised I could do other telephone missions and they may not necessarily have to start with that drag race.
No.
I might go try them again.
Okay.
I accidentally selected a rampage icon.
No, I remember those.
I didn't do it.
Those come back in 5. They're worth doing in 5. They're quite good.
Mm.
So what were we talking about?
Oh, I ran into like a little pill icon and everything slowed down, and I thought for a second my game had glitched out or I had glitched out.
You had glitched out.
I was like, what's happening? What was in that cake I ate? What's worse is I made them. What have I put in them?
Yeah.
But I would think I would more enjoy missions where I'm not. And this is going to sound really redundant, but in Grand Theft Auto, saying this for Grand Theft Auto, not constantly driving around. I'd like to develop different skills.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy the sniping missions and things like that because as a kid I would go to like game fairs and use air rifles. Mm-hmm. And that was my favourite thing there. It was like competing against everybody else to see if I could do it. So that's probably why I enjoy that. Not because I'm a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. You're a psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath.
Did
I told you that I was given pigeon shooting lessons last year for my birthday.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was very good. I got
like
clay pigeon shooting, I should say, yeah. Not actual pigeons.
Just walking around Edinburgh with a shotgun. It's good to hear that you're wanting to build up other skills and that I was quite glad to hear that you were using the sniper rifle because that was probably one of the last skills I developed while playing GTA early on was using the sniper rifles. And it's incredibly useful. I can remember the PSG-7 or something from Vice City. That came in really useful.
What I actually enjoyed doing was being on my own and just sort of exploring the places and seeing if I could hide behind stuff and see how far I could shoot.
That's good because the whole idea of exploring the space on your own is good because I remember a week ago even you were saying I just need something more direct to tell me what to do, and now you're saying now I'm enjoying running around.
Well, it was something different.
Yeah, it's good. I think you're growing. But yeah, it's quite good to hear that you're wanting to build up other skills and enjoying doing that. It's you're growing. Pat yourself on the head.
No, my head's sore. I'm not going to do that.
Let's pretend that we're patting you in the head. Pat yourself on the shoulder.
No.
Pat yourself on the knee.
Leave me alone.
Sorry. Do I have to edit this in case you hand it over to the police?
No. You do realise I'll have the hard copy. You'll have a copy, but so will I.
So I need to edit...
I keep all the copies. So I've got all the original ones.
So I need to edit you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Although that's not possible, for I am not a machine.
Yes, that's what I meant by edit.
Dun dun dun.
No, so I won't ask you for your verdict. We'll have that when you're finished. But it is good to see that you're exploring, learning, thinking, doing action.
So what have you been playing?
I have been playing...
Dun 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 dun. Drum roll.
Well, what I've been playing is actually irrelevant. What's more relevant is what I have been finishing.
That's what...
I have finished...
That's what I meant.
I have finished The Crew.
That's why I gave you a drum roll.
Well, re-drum roll then, because you keep talking over me saying that I've finished The Crew.
No. That didn't sound like a drum roll.
Of course it didn't. It's all wet and slappy. I can't do that like this. This hand moves much faster than this hand. I don't know why. I end up with like 2 taps on the left for 1 on the right. What do you mean?
I just poked myself in the eye.
I'm ambidextrous. Oh, what was it? Is it? Oh, yeah.
What the heck are you doing?
You do. It's a horse.
That's not a horse.
No, because I can't do it properly.
That doesn't sound like a horse. A horse is two coconuts together.
Yeah, but if you don't have coconuts and you've only got your hands, you can't just go...
I don't know. You're like coupling.
That's only a horse if the horse is playing the drums.
This sounds like a horse. It sounds like a horse on cobblestones.
On what?
Cobblestones.
That sounded a lot like you said cubistones.
Cobblestones.
This is a horse in cubistones. What were we
Think
talking
of the marches.
about? Can you give me a drum roll, please?
No.
The crew. I finished the crew.
Let's try that again.
The crew. Now the reason for our obvious delving into insanity is the fact that the crew is just god awful. It's just utterly disastrously terrible.
All I've heard for the last 2 weeks is how bad it is from you.
That's
Every day.
That's why last week all I did was tell a story about a flying car. But
Which I watched and really
there's actually some really funny things have happened with the cars flying around.
Is it so bad it's funny, or is it so bad
Do you know
you just
what?
want to destroy it?
This is the main thing I want to discuss at the end. I'm going to sum up the story and the gameplay mechanics, but that's what I'm going to sum up because that really dictates whether or not it's worth playing.
Okay.
So the gameplay mechanics. The cars do behave differently from each other, and they have what's called specs. So you can spec out a car to be, I think it's 5 specs. I'm saying I think because I'm playing myself down. I do remember. It's raid, which is pure off-road. There's dirt, which is like dirt tracks.
Yeah.
There's street, which is the most flexible, and it's just for general driving and roads and stuff. And you start with that one.
Yeah.
There's performance, which is just for roads, really. But it does have some flexibility on that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's circuit, which is just...
It's like round and around and around.
No, they get the best out of them on a track, but they need to be on tarmac. They need to be on tarmac.
Yeah.
A circuit car can do 30 miles. My circuit car could do 30 miles an hour off-road, whereas steadily it would increase to the raid, which could do 140. So they really do alter how the cars behave. However, they do have one consistent problem with the cars, which is that while the acceleration seems okay and the NOS system seems pretty good, the braking is at best... Well, to put it mechanically, it's like you've got drum brakes. It's entirely... You brake and then something will happen, but you're not entirely sure what. And then when it comes to steering, that's just anybody's guess, really. I mean, like I said this before, and I'm going to use a comparison again because I think it's worth it. Everything turns differently. Every vehicle turns differently. Every mode of transport turns differently. And if you turn too fast, they'll all skid out in their own way. Like I said at the time, that a horse will just fall over.
I was watching Blazing Saddles the other night, and I just remember how like the horse just like fell over after someone punched it. Obviously, it was a stunt horse. So I will just I do not condone animal cruelty.
Stunt horse.
It's a stunt horse.
It wasn't. Oh right, okay. There wasn't like a doll of a horse.
No, it was a stunt horse.
Okay. What was I talking about? Because you've distracted me now.
There was a fake horse.
It was a horse fell over. Yeah, it was a horse. A horse would just fall over. But when you get to a corner in one of these cars, it's like it turns into... I don't know if it's turning into a lawnmower or a hovercraft. It just... The skidding out feels wrong. Feels strange. It doesn't feel like you can control it. And because the game punishes you for being in cockpit mode at certain points... I had to do third person at certain points to be able to play it properly. And when you watch the car turn in third person, it's insane. The car basically just drifts from side to side. It doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely terrible. The game mechanics are when it comes to the driving, are sometimes enjoyable, sometimes just strange. It's clearly been populated with silly wee challenges for you to do, so you have something to do. But I finished the story and had absolutely no desire to do that because I didn't see what the point was. The multiplayer stuff is broken. Because whenever you do anything involving the police are jumping around all over the place. Whenever you do anything involving the police and somebody else in multiplayer, everybody is jumping all over the place. I had one good multiplayer experience, and it was when they took us out of the main world and put us in our own little bubble and had a race in this little track. Right. So in the point of this game, which is driving down the main world all at the same time, buy GTA 5. Because the crew don't work, because it's just everywhere. Maybe the crew 2 is better, but don't go anywhere near the crew for that. So it just doesn't work at all, because as soon as you're with each other, it's just like... Like
for the benefit of our listeners, Tommy just dramatically threw his hands about the place.
Yeah, every time I went beep, my hands were in a completely different position. That's what it's like in the game. You can just blink and suddenly one guy who was in front of you is behind you, is in front of you, is next to you, is next to you, on top of you, is behind you. It doesn't make any sense. So you don't feel like there's any point in doing anything. You're driving around being rewarded with basically numbers for your car. Because it gets better and goes up. At level 50 you unlock platinum, and that's when the game got interesting for me from that point of view of actually a challenge, because it was properly challenging to get platinum on all those tracks.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that some of them you were actually just supposed to cheat to get platinum.
Right.
Why? What's the point in that? Like, the official way of getting platinum on one of the races that I described before is to leave the track you're on to join the track the other person is on and just follow behind them. That's just poorly designed.
You're fed up of it.
Yeah, the overwhelming thing was that the whole thing was either weird or pointless or didn't work.
Well, I'm glad we were both disappointed this week with the games we played.
But there's the reason that I kept playing it, was the story. With Troy Baker voicing the main actor and all the other characters, and I thought, that's what got me into it in the first place. It's the only reason I played past the first hour, was am I enjoying being this character? And to be honest with you, they make very little character development as you go through. They introduce new characters, but they basically just say, "Hi, I'm a woman and this happened to me. Oh, I'm a man and my leg's all busted up. Oh." It's all very caricaturesque. They don't delve into it at all. And then by the time you get to the end of it, you're sitting there like, what? Why is this story finished? Absolutely nothing happens in the story. It sort of reminded me of an action movie in a way, but an action movie in which the action is terrible. You don't care about any of the characters. You don't care about why they want retribution, and you don't care about whether or not they get it.
Mm-hmm.
Be it retribution, vengeance, or justice. You don't care if they get it either way.
Yeah.
And that's what it was like at the end. I genuinely thought, is this game over? Is that story finished? Not because it wasn't long or anything like that, but because they didn't do anything with it. So I was somewhat shocked that the game was over when it was. Not because it didn't make any sense structurally, but because if I was going to write a story that bad, that's how I'd end it. But why haven't they done anything here? They've done absolutely nothing. It's like the story was built to get you used to the game, but then you're supposed to do all the other things to play the game.
Yeah.
But the story is the only reason to play the game. You do the other things to make the story playable, not the other way around. It's all set up wrong. And then you get to the end of the story, and then what happens is he drives away into the distance, and you're like, it's over, it's finished. And then it just puts you back into the sort of above map menu, and then the person who hired you for the job, as it were, just comes back saying, "Alex, what do you want now? We're finished, surely," she says. "Are we? You make a good point. I'll come back and do some more work." So what was the point? Oh my god.
Poor you.
What? It's a terrible game. The only reason I played it was for the story and maybe to see whether or not the cars got any good. The cars do not get any good, and the story doesn't actually ever happen, really. It's sort of like, it's an unfolding of random events, basically. It's not actually a proper constructed story.
This sounds a lot like...
I'm not saying the story doesn't add together. It makes logical sense from a point of view, but it's like they're not trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing to it. So everything fits together in some degree and makes some degree of sense, but for the most part, it's like they're not really trying to tell a story at all. Bit of help here.
Sorry, there's a fly in the room. So, back to my original question. Is it so bad it's funny, or is it so bad it's bad?
So this was getting back to my point before about how when you're being chased by the police go absolutely mental.
So back to my original question. Is it so bad it's good, or is it so bad it's bad? Like, so good it's fun. Like, so bad it's fun, sorry.
Yeah, this goes back to when I mentioned the problems with the police. Whenever the police are involved, they're bopping around all over the place.
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes, slightly more often when you're playing with somebody else, what will happen is that you'll pick up a crate or you'll follow somebody while they're delivering their crate and you'll protect them from the police. And when there's this lag issue, the police will beat bop it all over the place, right?
Yeah.
But one of the points, the things that happens is occasionally police cars will just randomly take off. Now, it's annoying when they go beat bop all over the place around you because they'll hit you and spin you out and all the rest of it, and it's just ridiculous. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But when they take off, it's hilarious just to watch these police cars chitty bang their way into the sky. And that's the one time that it's fun. But I would have to say that I would play it until you got a couple of those and then stop. But they are the only reason to play the game, really. And it's probably not worth it. It's definitely not worth buying it. If you have it already and you've not played it, play it for an hour or two until you see a police car bopping around all over the place in the air. Or just watch one of our videos. That's the only thing worth doing, is having one of those. And genuinely, they're not worth it if you're the only one who ever sees the video. That's why I always shout people in to come and see it or tell it on the podcast and then show it. That's the only time it's worth it. And the bad thing about it is that when it comes to online play, you can't actually record them using the inbuilt capture stuff because it kicks you out. So you can do it when you're just driving around or you're being chased by the police. But if you're ever doing a crate delivery, you get kicked out as soon as you try and record it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been several which I've not been able to show you because it would have kicked me out of a crate. I'd spent half an hour driving somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just terrible. That's just absolutely terrible. The fact that you can't record something you've done with your friends without being kicked out of the match is just stupid. It's just not got any redeeming qualities. It is an early release game for the Xbox One, but it's just terrible for me.
So shall we move on to the news now? So Battlefield 5 have announced a release date, which is the 20th of November.
Yeah. This game was already, I think, supposed to be out, but they pushed it back when they realised that they were going to be up against Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 76, and all the big games, really. And now we've just heard that it's coming out on the 20th of November. I think I think there might have been an open beta already. Maybe they might have something similar again, but I doubt it. The release date is the 20th of November. So I think they're trying to capitalise on Christmas time, and hoping that people already have the big games by Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I know definitely it looks like PlayStation Classic are going to be...
they're doing the something similar,
yeah. Because they're the 3rd of December. Yeah. So they're definitely going to be capitalising on Christmas.
Yeah, this is the next piece of news, and for me, I'm not that interested. I'm not that interested in PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, because I think we were hoping there was going to have like really amazing titles on it, like Crash Bandicoot. And
yeah, that's exactly what we said to each other. And
I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Headphones flew forward.
So it suddenly becomes Cyclops with a visor over your eyes.
I'm looking at like myself in the reflection, and I look a lot like a Cyberman with these headphones on.
Yeah, Cyberman, but wearing some glasses.
Yes.
Sunglasses.
Yes. They're not sunglasses. They're reading glasses.
But they would look like sunglasses on a Cyberman, because logically a Cyberman wouldn't need.
So, We were hoping for Crash Bandicoot and Spyro for personal love of me.
Yeah, they needed... I could understand some of them not being there because they've been remastered, but they're remastering Final Fantasy VII and it's there. They could have done with a couple of more Final Fantasies. A lot of the 20 titles they've put on it seem like garbage. There's a lot of the 20 titles which have sequels which are better than the originals, and it's the originals they've gone with.
Mm-hmm. How many Final Fantasies are there?
15 was the last one to come out.
Wow.
But 7 was the first one that I think was released outside of Japan, properly.
Really?
Yeah. And 14's an online player game, I think. Multiplayer, massive multiplayer game, MMO. But it's really annoying to me. My only assumption here is it's something that somebody else pointed out, that this isn't the 25th anniversary of PlayStation, it's the 24th. So maybe they're building up to something.
Why the heck would you release something on the 24th anniversary of something?
So I'm thinking... No, 24th year, I don't think it's the exact 24th anniversary, but it is interesting, and there's a part of me that's thinking maybe they're going to release...
something big next year.
Yeah, or maybe they're going to try selling...
Maybe, do you think they're going to see how this does?
Maybe, but maybe they're going to sell Wii USBs that you can use to have other games.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You plug in a flash drive of other games and they'll just sell more titles. But I have no interest in buying the classic.
No, it doesn't sound all that thrilling, because I've still got a lot of the PlayStation 1 games which happily work on my PlayStation 2. So. Yeah,
and ditto for the PlayStation 3 over here. There's only 2 titles I'd be interested in, Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy 7, and I've got Final Fantasy 7.
We've got Tekken 3. I think I've got a Tekken game.
I think I said it again. I've got Final Fantasy 7 there.
What?
You know, instead of Final Fantasy 7 sitting there, I've got Final Fantasy sitting 7 there. But
welcome to my dyslexic world.
I love
that's me. That's me 24/7.
I love it when those words all get mixed up and you end up saying stuff.
Should we go on to the next bit of news?
No, because... Sorry, I just want to quickly clarify that I'm very disappointed with that selection, and as a result I have no interest in getting the classic. I want games that I never had the ability to play or finish, so I really want an N64 Mini. I highly recommend.
Is that not released already?
The N64 Mini.
I'm pretty sure they released something about it.
There's a release date being released, I think.
I'm pretty sure they've already released a mini version, because I remember, I'm thinking of a SNES.
You're thinking of the SNES.
I'm thinking of the SNES because the reason I got confused was because while I was trying to look for a cable for the SNES, because I got one, we kept talking about the mini version.
No, it's I know what you're talking about, but it's the N64 Mini I really want. I'm much more interested in playing the sorts of games I didn't get to finish properly when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So things like Zelda, GoldenEye, Donkey Kong, Super Mario. I really want to play Mario 64. I really, really do.
Yeah, because I saw that the man who Mario was named after, I can't pronounce this. I think Segale?
Probably Segale.
Segale passed away, so that was really sad. I just remember that when you were saying Mario.
I never finished that. I could never beat Bowser in one of the fights. There's just lots of things that because I was too young and I just didn't have the experience and skill yet.
Yeah.
I really would like to play that again. Also the tri-horn controller, I'd like to have a feel of that again, because as a left-handed player...
Oh, that's the thing with like the 3 prongs.
Yeah, as a left-handed player that was surprisingly useful.
I keep forgetting you're left-handed.
Yeah.
What was that?
We're not allowed out in daylight with real people. In conclusion, I'm not interested in the PlayStation Classic. I won't be going anywhere near it. I'm waiting for the N64 one.
Neither am I. I'm still saving up to get a Xbox One. So our final story is about Bioware. There was an interview in Games Magazine with Anthem director Jonathan Warner.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Explain this to me.
He gave an interview sort of regarding Anthem, the game they're working on at the moment for EA. And
so what does that have to do with Bioware?
Bioware are working on it for EA because EA own Bioware.
Okay.
That's why Bioware have been making rubbish recently.
I'll take your word for it.
You know how Bioware have made things like KOTOR, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, so they're known for making games with...
I'm going to presume that's a question for our audience and not a question for me, because I know nothing.
They make games in which story is extremely important, as well as strategic mechanics.
Okay.
Well, for years they've been sliding slightly away from that, especially since they were bought by EA, and the epitome of that has been Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda, which was a disaster. But in this interview, he said that it was a refreshing thing for him to be able to work on a game where the gameplay mechanics were considered the most important thing, not the story, because they've been working on a lot of things with the stories.
Sorry to interrupt, but in case you hear it, it's starting to rain. Sorry for interrupting you there. I felt I didn't know how long you were going to talk for, and I thought our listeners needed to know that it was raining. Yeah. More than they needed to know what you were saying.
Yeah, I get accused of all of that very often. It was to do with the fact that he said it was quite refreshing to work on a game where it was focused on gameplay mechanics and not the story. And that's just basically the total of this story is that Bioware as we knew it is just dead.
Gone.
It's just it. Because the old Bioware focused on story, and because of that they made great games. I don't remember anybody ever turning around and saying, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, I wish the story was worse. You know, the gameplay mechanics for those games might not have been absolutely incredible, but all you have to do is look at Mass Effect 2, where they fixed that problem and made one of the best games I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't dilute the story at all. They just made the gameplay better. I just don't understand why they think it's a good idea to... Well, he's a developer anyway, so if he's writing... surely it's the writers who focus on story and the rest of them focus on gameplay. I don't understand how that... I don't understand the production differences, the development differences between a story and a game without a story, or a game with less story.
Well, sometimes if there's somebody higher up who's decided, the story is not the way I want it to go, the writers are going to have to go back and rewrite it.
Yeah, but he's not a writer.
I thought you just said he was a writer.
No, he's a developer. So unless he's a writer, in which case I don't know why he wants less work to do. But the point is that I don't understand how it makes such a big difference. Right. It suggests there's a larger difference here than just the story's not the main focus. Because he's saying there's still a great story in there, it's just it's nice to be focusing on gameplay. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't understand that from a development point of view. What does he mean? Because that would suggest to me that there's a lot less story or a lot less story focus to the point where the game is massively different than it would be.
I don't know.
So it's... That concerns me, if I'm being honest. Just that idea that it's so different would suggest to me that the story is almost... It's like the cruise sort of story. It's just there to make you go from A to B.
Mm-hmm.
But it does mean that Bioware are Kaputzin, and it's a shame. Or not Kaputzin, they're just not the same beast they were before.
So is this because EA bought them over? Sorry, I interrupted you again, sorry.
And then a lot of other people left as well. A lot of the old developers left as well because of, stuff. But I think it's just, they're not quite the same beast anymore, but it is concerning from the point of view of, because if we were going to get any more Mass Effects, which were done properly, I think Anthem had to do well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it will, if it's not going to have story, because there's no romance options or anything like that. And Bioware were famous for its games where you could, copulate. So I'm not entirely... I'm intrigued, but I would have to hear that it was a good game before I bought it.
Yeah.
Because it's concerning me too much. And especially after Andromeda, which was a disaster in a pie. And they smacked their own face into it.
That's a lovely story. So what a lovely story to end on there. Our last piece of news for the day.
Yeah. I take it by lovely you mean potentially horrifying and soul crushing.
Yeah, that's called sarcasm.
Yes, sorry.
That's called sarcasm. Something I live by, really.
It's a shame you're not very good at it.
I am now actually just going to say goodbye. So thank you all for listening. Please subscribe to our channel and like the video below. We much appreciate it.
Yeah, you can like and subscribe below the video.
And if you'd like to leave a comment, that'd be absolutely brilliant.
You can do that under the video as well. You can also follow us.
You can also follow us on Facebook.
You can also follow us.
Let's see if I can remember it.
Yeah, okay. You can also follow us
OverShadow.
Wait. You can also follow us on Facebook at
OverShadow.ShadowCast.
Yes, it's at OverShadow.ShadowCast on Facebook.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And you can contact us via email on at
OverShadow.ShadowCast
yes, yes,
at gmail.com.
yeah. Just to clarify, it's overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. The links to both of those are underneath in the description.
Yes, and again, we'd really like it if you could leave a comment for us, please.
Yeah, we're getting kind of lonely.
You're getting kind of lonely.
Oh,
I've got friends outside of this. So thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll join us again next week.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.